In this session, we're going to discuss outage prevention and remediation and how Venafi can help prevent costly outages. The challenges with expiring digital certificates is that the certificates expire unexpectedly, and when they do, critical business systems are impacted. There are also an unquantified risk, meaning we don't have the ability to determine or prevent when or where the certificates are going to expire, nor do we know the extent of the outage. The tasks that are necessary to address the challenges are that we need to detect and continuously monitor the certificates. We also need to provide advance notification before the certificates expire, so we make sure the appropriate parties can take action on this. We also have to have a method of enforcing a policy before the certificate expires, so that way the renewed certificates meet the corporate standards. We also need to provide an automated workflow so that there's an easy-to-use method for a user to either renew and or revoke a certificate, or perhaps have the certificate installed for them. So how does Venafi help with this? We have the ability to protect, which means create visibility and create an inventory using our discovery wizard. We also have the ability to do establishing policies to make sure that the certificates meet the corporate policies. And on the detect side, we have the ability to notify with our notification engine so that we let the appropriate parties know that a certificate is going to expire. This could be parties such as a user or system administrators, or perhaps Active Directory groups or LDAP groups. And we also have the ability to respond. So we can, from a web portal, we can allow the user to select if they want to renew the certificate, or perhaps they want to get a new certificate, and the portal then does all of the work for them in the background. So the ability to generate CSR, generate key material, submit that CSR to the CA, all of that's handled in an automated way, making it very, very simple for the user. All right, so now let's do a brief demonstration on this, and we'll see the solution in action. So the first thing we're going to look at is the administrative portal, and I wanted to show you the establishment of policies. The way policies work is we'll look at this particular fictitious business unit ABC I have here. And one of the things for the monitoring capabilities is when I go to monitoring, you'll notice that we have the different expiration dates for like server certificates. So if I wanted to get notified at 60 days for server certificates, and let's say user certificates, we only cared about 10 days in advance. So you can set it based on the different certificate type, and then you also have escalation start. So if I wanted to say that 60 days I want to begin notifying someone, but then at 30 days I need to escalate if someone doesn't take action. So it's very configurable based on when you want to start monitoring and when you want to do escalation. If we look at the certificate tab, this is where you can see that we have a contact and approver. So we're tied into Active Directory here, and you notice they have a network operations team and a PKI admin team. So this is who's going to get notified. They're going to receive an email when something is going to expire, like we said, in the either 30, 60, 90, whatever the configuration is on that particular policy. Now also on the protect side is the ability to do discovery. So we've looked at the admin console. Let's actually log into the user portal. So on the user portal, if I go to discovery and then go to network discovery, you can see we have multiple discovery jobs. Let's look at an example network discovery job. You'll notice that if we go to details and targets, we have a name of the job, the description, and the contact, and then we can specify what we want to discover. So for example, you notice we have a class C here, but let's say I wanted to discover this particular host, or if I wanted to do something, doing these 10 hosts, for example, something like that, then you could do that. And also notice that we will scan port 443, but you could also do 8443, 8080, for example. So you can do the standard port as well as any non-standard port you like. You'll also notice we have placement rules. What placement rules do is when a discovery job is executed, they will take the results, those certificates that were found, and automatically place them into those particular policies. So for example, we saw our business unit ABC. If I find certificates that, say, for example, are on my F5 load balancers, I may want to automatically map those into business unit ABC. The ultimate goal of placement rules is everything is automated. We discover, we put them into policy, and they are automatically secured and protected and being monitored by the Trust Protection Platform, all without any human intervention. Okay, so now let's move over to the detect side of things. So the detection, the way that looks, remember we looked at the policy and we saw that the PKI admin team is going to get emailed before certificates are going to expire. So if I look at this particular email, you'll notice that I have my user Bob, and Bob's got his email address, and he received an email that shows him that this particular certificate is going to expire. This is the name of his certificate. And you'll also see that he has a list of available actions that he can take. So if he were to click on this, it would then take him back to the user portal and it would show him the information about this particular certificate. All right, and we'll look at that next. So that's the detection. And when you look at the response capabilities, our ability to say, I want to have a dashboard where a user can take action on these things. So for example, we go back to our user portal, we go to dashboards, I want to see my certificates. So I'm seeing information such as the critical alerts, the key length, my validity periods. If there's anything that it's outside of policy, I could certainly act on that. But for outage remediation, I want to look at what's going to expire within this particular time frame, and then if I had anything that was critical, it would be red. But let's say I wanted to look at these 3 certificates. I could click this. And then I can see my certificates. I could click on this particular certificate. I could say I want to see all the properties. I could look at this information. And then if I wanted to, I could say I want to renew this certificate right now. And if I were to click that button, everything would happen in the background. Venafi would generate my CSR for me, generate my key material. It would submit that CSR to the appropriate CA, regardless if it's an internal or external CA. And then we would then get that signed certificate back from the CA, and then we could actually either hand this certificate back to the user where he could download the certificate like this, or using our protection platform, we could actually install that certificate for this user on his F5 load balancer, on his Apache server, whatever the application or host may be. All right, so in summary, for outage remediation and prevention, you have the ability to protect, detect, and respond, all using Venafi Trust Protection Platform. If we can help with anything else, please contact Venafi. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much.